friends, it's Aki Dears, and in this video, this is going to be a very delayed review on this channel for the series Killing Stalking. A lot of you guys were messaging me wanting me to just kind of do another review, sharing my thoughts and opinions on things, but a few disclaimers. For those of you that have not read or know of Killing Stalking, I don't even recommend this video for the spoilers. I don't recommend this video because we are so far into the series that I honestly think everything is just going to go through one ear and out the other. It's going to be a little bit confusing, so for those of you that haven't read it, links will be in the description below if you would like to, but disclaimer, the story will go over psychological and mental abuse between two characters, Sangwoo and Yoonbum, so if abusive relationships are not something that you want to dwell into, that I wouldn't recommend this to you guys. Now, for the rest of you guys that are well caught up with Killing Stalking, I'm just going to give my review, my thoughts, and some of my theories, I guess, that I think is going to happen in the future series. But before I get into that, one last thing is that I went to Anime Expo 2017 this past summer, went to the Lezen booth, and just said thank you guys so much for like introducing like Killing Stalking to so many people, because they also gave me this, which was super dope. I think a lot of you guys that went might have gotten this, because not sure if they were giving this out already, but thank you guys so much for giving me this, and also for sponsoring this video and for my last Killing Stalking review, because I swear to God, YouTube just murders monetization on this series on my channel. Like, it's ridiculous. But you guys love it, and I have a lot of things to share about Killing Stalking, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this review. What I want to explain now is Yoonbum's complex feelings over Sangwoo. In the beginning, after his spirit has been broken a little bit more, Yoonbum was both in misery but still in lust with Sangwoo. Now it's sort of turned into madness and obsession over Sangwoo. It almost seems like he literally cannot see his life without Sangwoo. It almost seems as if it's really this very twisted imagination of love in his mind. One example of Yoonbum being mad in love with Sangwoo, and in a bad way, is that he was cutting his wrists right in front of Sangwoo so that he could please him, and that kind of just proves of how desperate he is for Sangwoo to never leave his side. Another thing that we see from Yoonbum is his past, of where he was before he met Sangwoo. It turns out he had a very abusive uncle and also a grandmother that never really took Yoonbum's side, but she was probably the closest thing to salvation that he probably had in that house. But unfortunately, things built up and then he ran away, and then that's when Sangwoo kind of came in. I feel like the real reason that Yoonbum fell in love with Sangwoo, in the beginning, when we saw why Yoonbum liked Sangwoo, we just saw that Sangwoo basically saved him from somebody that was messing with him. But now that we look into his past, that he's been abused at his previous household, it's almost as if anyone that showed any sort of kindness to Yoonbum would have been treasured very much by him. So for Sangwoo to come in like that, Yoonbum wanted to stay by his side. When Yoonbum was already held captive by Sangwoo, I feel like eventually he was at crossroads at a point where it's like, do I want to go back to an abusive uncle that calls me a piece of shit, or stay with an abusive man that calls me a piece of shit but gives me cake afterwards? And I'm not talking about the one from the grocery store. Another thing that we see unfold in these previous chapters is Sangwoo's past, and through his past, I sort of kind of got an idea of why he might be giving Yoonbum such special treatment. In his past, he had an abusive father, and also his mother was basically his saving grace. She was his guardian angel. She was the only piece of salvation in his childhood. So I feel like with Yoonbum, maybe he's sort of like this clouded image of Sangwoo's mother, and that's why Sangwoo, although abusive and still treating Yoonbum like a piece of shit, he still has this like very protective behavior over Yoonbum that was really unexplained. It was very confusing, but Sangwoo is a very complicated character. We saw a part where Sangwoo says that he doesn't want to be like his father, but it's quite clear not only did he end up exactly like his father, but I think he even surpassed that and became something more. Another character I want to touch upon is the detective. Basically, right on the nose. He knows it's Sangwoo, he just lacks the evidence to prove it. Another thing he knows is that Yoonbum has something to do with it. So what he does is breaks into Sangwoo's house, and eventually he finds Yoonbum hidden in a closet. He's like, come with me, I'll save you, we can try and explain everything and get you out of here. Here's the interesting part, is that Yoonbum refused that offer. Sangwoo then arrives, and skip a little bit forward and we see a fight scene happen where he saw the detective in his house. Fast forward a little bit more, we are now at the police station where Sangwoo and Yoonbum are now taken into custody for interrogation. At this point, Yoonbum is the only person that can easily change everything. He is the only shred of evidence and credibility that this detective can have in order to prove that Sangwoo has done something horrible to him. And what does he do? He defends Sangwoo. Why? I don't know. I think he's honestly convinced that Sangwoo is his life, because without Sangwoo, where is he gonna go? I think he thinks that maybe this detective won't do any good for him, because let's say if Sangwoo did get caught, okay, he says that, okay, this guy's been beating the shit out of me, and yes, he made me kill that girl. So if Yoonbum was not held guilty for anything, they're either gonna throw him in like a foster care, or they're gonna throw him back with his uncle and his grandmother, and then he's just gonna go back to the same thing, or he's just gonna end up on the streets, from what I can see here. So I feel like that's what's going on through his mind, and the fact that Sangwoo is the only person in his entire life that has given any sort of kindness towards him that he's noticed. So he wants to latch on to that kindness for dear life because he just doesn't see himself without it. Now that's just in Yoonbum's mind, and I think we all know that if they did cut ties, Yoonbum would probably be a lot better off without him. So Sangwoo, being the master manipulator that he is, he's like, hey, we're actually dating. I love Yoonbum. He is the love of my life. I love him with all my heart. Love, love, love Yoonbum. And then the detective is like, okay, I see right past that. Stop bullshitting me. Those ankles are not the ankles of love. Those ankles are by somebody who didn't want someone to leave their house. You've been abusing this kid, and I can see it on his ankles. Emphasis on ankles. So Sangwoo's like, I don't know. And for some reason, the police department is like, I think that Sangwoo and him might be dating. The detective comes up with this tactic of being like, okay, so if you're dating, let me just separate you guys, give you a piece of paper each. It will have the same questions on it. Where did you guys meet? What are the parents' names? Basic things that you would probably know in a relationship. And Sangwoo being very nervous about this, and Yoonbum being very nervous about this, because they know that they know almost nothing about each other regardless of everything that they've been through. One thing that Sangwoo does, another master manipulating tactic, right over everyone's heads, he says out loud, by the way, Yoonbum, he doesn't really have a good memory. He sometimes doesn't even know where he is. Just pointing that out, guys. That was a cue for Yoonbum to answer I don't know under all those lines, because the words I don't know would be neither a right or a wrong answer. So the detective is like, God fucking damn it. So he separates them again and wants to just interview Sangwoo alone. Eventually, when they interview Yoonbum, they ask, hey, look, I know you're trying to protect him. Why don't you just come clean? Because the people, and especially this woman who has died, your words are killing her again by you keeping this a secret. And it doesn't look like that Yoonbum, it's not that he doesn't care, because him looking away, I feel like he was more in shame of what he did. He just doesn't want to think about it. And he's so desperate for happiness that it's like, I know I killed this girl, but Sangwoo's the only one that's ever been nice to me. If I let him go, then what happens for me? So Yoonbum's sort of selfish here at the same time, actually very selfish. And at the end, Yoonbum just doesn't give an answer. He just says, I want to be with Sangwoo. I'm done with this place. I am done with everything. And that pisses off the detective. He goes out, and guess what he does? He beats the shit out of Sangwoo, which was pretty awesome for him to do, but also a dumb thing for him to do. I mean, if you've already got red flags in your background as a detective or police officer, what more so to beat the crap out of somebody in public? So the head department guy comes in and says, what the hell are you doing? Clearly you are not fit for this job, so I cannot trust anything you say. Sangwoo, I am so sorry about this guy, but you guys are free to go. Can I do anything else for you? And Sangwoo says, no, I'm just done with everything. Yoonbum, let's go, my love. And so they go. Once they get to the house, this was by far the biggest win for Sangwoo. 5 points to Gryffindor for Sangwoo, because, oh my god, like, he was almost there. He almost went to jail. All it took was for Yoonbum to just spill the beans, and he couldn't even do that. So Sangwoo is just relieved by this point, and so when he looks at Yoonbum being relieved, he feels like he needs to show that relief through relieving himself into Sangwoo. Or into Yoonbum. What am I doing? No, Sangwoo and Sangwoo. No. He went into Yoon's bum. They did the do. That finale, and Kugi, I apologize if this is wrong. It just came off to me like that was just a fantastic finale, just to end it, just to take a break and just to work on season 3, because it might take a while. So why not just feed the fandom just a little bit? Just take the scene you guys have just wanted for a long time, and I guess everything was good. This is the 3rd review I'm going to be saying this, but for a lot of people that are kind of wondering about this being a boys' love, I really wouldn't even call it that. It's just a horror manhwa. It's something that if you like suspense and if you like horror and it just happens to be 2 guys, then why not go for it? I think that's why what has made Killing Stalking pop out so much is because, I mean, when I went on Lezen and I saw a couple of stories on there, a lot of them are great and a lot of them are just very like romantic. They kind of go over a lot of tropes of boy on boy love. What would be that? But this story is so complicated that it's in the boy on boy love world without necessarily being boy on boy love, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people give this a lot of harsh criticism based off of like some controversial things, but I mean, what else do you expect from a story that kind of goes over a very abusive and psychological relationship? But I think honestly, if anything, that sort of credits Kugi's writing in general. Anyway, so that's going to just kind of be my thoughts and my reviews on Killing Stalking. Tell me what you guys think is going to happen in the future episodes. What do you guys think of by this point? What do you guys think of maybe some symbolism that is put into Killing Stalking? Because there is some in there, and I've read a lot of really great theories. Other than that, thank you also so much to Lezen for sponsoring this video, because if it wasn't for you guys, YouTube would be ripping this series to shreds on my channel. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to review Killing Stalking and for sharing Killing Stalking. Thank you, Kugi, for continuing it, and I am hoping that the story really does take a turn and just blows my mind. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and subscribe to my channel for more anime and otaku related content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!